Welcome back to 405th. It's Ithaca once again, and I'm going to cover some things about pepping. I covered the basics of Pepicura earlier. I'm nowhere near an expert on this, okay? I showed you the basics that I use to get myself into trouble, alright? Other tutorials are on the forum. View them as well. Use them. There's some stickies. I do want to cover one thing. I was using a left-handed mouse earlier on this computer, so when I was saying right-click sometimes, especially for the colors of the valleys and the mountains, it's actually a left-click and drag. Okay, so please excuse me on that. Now, discussing the rest of pepping here, you have your cardstock paper, which is, okay, you can hear that, right? That's it's 110-pound cardstock. Some of the pieces of equipment that I would suggest using: one, scissors. I love these scissors, the medical scissors, because they're not pointy. Less chance you actually picking, poking, pricking, whatever you say. Yeah, sticking yourself. An X-Acto knife for all your fine cuts. This will come in very handy. Make sure you get a cap for it though. This little tool, you can use this for scoring as well. Use the dull side. Use the back side for your scoring so you have a better fold. Alright. This little tool here I use, it's for clay. Okay, but I have this little putty knife looking one. I love using that. There's a nice grip to it. It's not sharp. Gives you a nice scoring edge without cutting through. Of course, your standard hot glue gun and your standard hot glue sticks. Alright, and Pepicura. When you start printing your Pepicura off, your design off, this is what's going to look like on the paper. Now, I did not change the coloring on this for my mountains and my valleys. Alright, so I'm going to show you what the mountains and the valleys look like. This line right here, dot, 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 etc., is your valley line. Okay. This line, dot, line, dot, line, dot, a correction. It's reversed. That's your valley. That's your mountain. You can also change the way it looks through Pepicura. Play around with it a little bit. You can change the way these lines look. You will cut along a solid black line, cut your patterns out. I would do a demonstration of a fold for you, but I don't want to jump ahead. This is my wife's project that I'm showing you all right here, and I don't want to jump ahead and have her get mad at me. So here is a demonstration of what it's going to start to look like as you work with it. It has a lot of rough edges. It's flimsy, okay, but it starts to get a good structure to it. You'll see how all your lines should be on the outside if you're folding correctly. All right, correction, your numbers should be on the outside if you're folding correctly. You'll see you match your numbers up face to face. For example, 133 with 133. Make sure they are directly across from one another. If you have one here and one further down, then obviously you're not lined up correctly. This is her little project that she's got going on. I can't really talk about it, so I'm going to shush on that one. I'm going to show you, I have brought CQB up for a reason. I spent maybe 8 hours, if not a little bit longer, and this is what I came up with. And this is a finished product as far as Pepicura goes. Okay. This file did not have the visor in it, so I'm probably going to create the visor and create some supports before I decide to resin and fiberglass it. If you come across sections like this where there are ends but no numbers on the bottom of it, they need to be mounted. Make sure you check your Pepicura and your images and see where those spots are to be mounted. Because when you have no number on the end, then that's the end. So you need to make sure you check that out. You want to try to keep the visor in if you have a visor. If you have supports, you want to try to keep your supports run on the inside. Because when you resin, you're going to weaken the paper for a little bit. It gets mushy and it can collapse on you and warp on you. So you want to do that. And I'm going to work on creating my own for this file. It looks a little big, but believe it or not, it's not. I will have to shave it. I will have to shave this bottom portion once I resin it. But we'll get into that later on. But it's about the size of the Sean Bradley MC. everything turned out pretty good. I want to cover the gluing. Gluing is very important. Hot glue. Use a low temp hot glue. And if you run into a situation, I've seen someone who worked on a grenade, on the forum, they worked on a grenade, and had a problem where it closes in, and they have a hard time gluing. If you start from one side to the other, you won't run into that problem. But if you work your way and end up like I did and end up in the middle, you're going to have the same issue. You can put glue on the outside. Your little tabs can be on the outside. Put a little bit of hot glue on it, press it down on the outside rather than the inside. You're going against what the fold says to do. But when you use resin, it's going to smooth it out some. And then when you use sand and you start the Bondo, you can fix all that. If you're not lined up perfectly, don't worry about it. You can fix that with Bondo and with resin. Just make sure you fix it before it gets too far. If it's a really bad warp or something really bad throws you off, fix it now. So a little hot glue, heat it up with a blow dryer, heat gun, take it apart, redo it. And this is it for 405th. If you got any questions, make sure you send me a PM. I'll be glad to help you. And until next time.